So what's so interesting then is you took to the stage, and what was that first time like?
It was very scary. I told jokes in an auditorium.
Did people laugh naturally? Did you feel
They did. I did really well my first show. It was the second show where I died 1,000 deaths.
Why was that?
Because I was green. I was new. The first show, most comedians do well the very first time because it's all adrenaline. Right. And if you have raw talent, you know, it's if you're really a comic. The second show is where you hit that you can't get away with that anymore, and you learn that this is an art, and you have to, and a skill and a science, and you really have to put work into it.
You have to work at it, right? It's so interesting because in your comedy you talk about teen pregnancy, you talk about kidnapping, you talk about bullying, and when I've seen you on stage, it's amazing because I feel as if you're a stand-up comedian who's standing up to bullies. And perhaps all the bullies of your past, and and it's almost like you're collectively standing up for Latinos for all the bullying that's happening. And I'm wondering if you agree with that, or what are your thoughts around that?
I mean, I that's a very good way to say it. I'm gonna need you to write my new bio.
Yes, I will write your bio.
I need it. But you know what? I think that we are tiptoeing now. We live in a culture where everybody's afraid to speak their mind because there's a great penalty for that now. I don't. George Carlin is my hero, so I don't ever want to be.
He spoke his mind
all the time.
He was an active. I mean, he was like an activist comedian.
He was an activist comedian. He never wanted to adhere or succumb to rather celebrity culture. He always talked about society in a way that he poked fun at it, but it was with the intention of changing culture. And so he's one of my heroes. But I think it's important to speak up specifically for two groups, Latinos and women.
Right.
I mean, I believe women are the most oppressed group on the planet.
That's right.
And I think that
a lot of people would agree with you.
Yeah, and I've had some people disagree with me, but then I have to pull out, my facts and pull out stats and pull out pictures, because I travel the world and I observe how women live everywhere you go. Right. I mean, I've been from the Middle East to Asia, all over the world, and the one thing we have in common is oppression, and so I think it's important to be specifically a Latina woman that is not reinforcing and perpetuating stereotypes. Right. We have too many people doing that.
Right.
We don't need another clown.
No. And so what's interesting, you talk about women being oppressed, Latinas oppressed from their, from their intimate spaces in their home to the corporate environments that they work in. And so, and you've even talked about how there aren't other women, Latinas, who are comedians also, and what a lonely path that is.
It is. And
how Latinos have, you've even said like Latinos have never had their own place to go find their comedy that reflects their lives. And why do you think that is?
Well, it's a very interesting group of people that everyone is trying to figure out, because we're such a large consumer market, but we're such a varied group of people. Because we have so many subcultures within our culture. When I'm in Miami, I'm Cuban. When I'm in New York, I'm Puerto Rican. When I'm in California, I'm Mexican. There's such a separation, such a divide in the Latin culture that it's so hard to try to cater to a group that you don't understand. We're bicultural. We are American and we are Latino. We are wherever we come from, and then we have to accept and assimilate to American culture.
Would you say that the tough circumstances that you grew up in, that really created a kind of confidence in you to be outspoken, to share your opinions even when they're not popular, to give critique? Where did you get that confidence to do that? Because that requires a certain, I don't care what people think about me. I'm gonna say what I see.
I will tell you that it came from reading literature. That was the way I escaped from my circumstances. Reading everything when I was little. That was how I escaped from what was around me, and that was what created this vivid imagination that allowed me to dream the possibility of getting out of there and creating a different life for myself and breaking cycles. But it's always been reading.
Where do you see yourself going next? Because you're at that precipice of I think you're going to become a household name in comedy.
I hope so. We need one. We don't have an Ellen.
Oh, no.
We don't have women. women. We don't have I mean, there are some amazing female comedians that you don't know about because of the ceiling that exists.
Right.
Amy Schumer is finally breaking through.
Right.
But we don't have as Latinos, we don't have a woman. We have George Lopez. That's it.
Right.
And so what I'd like to do is, I've never been preoccupied with being a celebrity. I've never been preoccupied with being famous. What I wanted to do was be excellent and be change culture, and to be a pioneer and a gate opener for little girls everywhere that look like me and don't look like me, that are sitting somewhere believing that they have to live in limitation. I wanna create a company, a business, an enterprise that employs people who really want to affect change.